All right, and we have the guys from now. Is it Sloop Brewing? Is that what you're called?
That's exactly what it's called.
All right, and introduce yourselves. I'm sorry.
I'm Justin Taylor, head brewer.
I'm Adam Watson, the other guy.
The other guy, Justin. It's always that way. There's always one guy and the other guy, and neither one. I'm impressed because you have at least 3 employees. Because on your website you have your employee of the month.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
and it's neither one of you.
No. It's Jim Taylor.
That's my father, Jim Taylor. Without him, we couldn't be where we are today. He's the guy that knows everything.
You guys are a nano brewery, and I'd never heard that expression before. I mean, we've all heard microbrews. I've never heard now, and essentially a nano brewery is, at least from what I was able to interpret, like one step up from people who brew beer in their house.
Yeah, pretty much. The word microbrewery is a technical term. It's any brewery that brews more than 60,000 barrels per year. But the nano,
more than?
Yeah. I'm sorry, less than. Any brewery that brews less than 6,000 barrels.
So
per
you
year.
are technically a microbrewery.
Our license is microbrewery. It's New York State Liquor Authority license says microbrewer's license on it. But technically, nano brewery it's not a technical definition, but it's kind of loosely defined as any brewer that brews less than 3 barrels per batch.
Did you make that up? The nano brewery part?
No, you can Google it. Yeah, you can Google it right now. It's
Sounds cool.
It does sound cool. I like it.
Yeah,
sounds
definitely.
very 21st century.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Make it so.
Support the little guy.
Yeah.
Now this is very cool though, and it's interesting because you look around this area, and this area has become a hotbed for craft beers.
Yes.
We have our Blues, Brews, and Barbecue Festival coming up on June 1st. Mm-hmm. You guys are the beer of the week this week. And you look around, you see the guys in Newburgh, you see guys like Tommy Keegan.
Yep.
And that's got to be very encouraging for a couple of small dudes with a nano brewery to see guys who are out there actually bottling and selling enough.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, there's a huge beer market. It's, we can't make enough beer. We never have beer to sell because it's already like the Sour Peach. We're bottling that today. That's all sold. The next 4 or 5 batches of Sour Peach is already sold.
Now that's got to be an awesome thing. Now, how do you get your license upgraded so you can produce more than?
Got to get a bigger bond. You got to in order to if you brew past a certain point, you just got to get a bigger bond. It's all with so they can collect their excise tax.
Oh, it's all about taxes.
It's all taxes.
That's always about taxes.
Yeah, with the TTB and the state's pretty much all about taxes.
So you were just like brewing beer at home, and everybody's like, "This is good, and you just said, "Okay, let's make money off of it."
Well, I was going to the Beacon Farmers Market, which we're there now. If anybody wants to buy beer there
on Sundays, right? You can
on
get the beer
Sundays,
there.
What is it, 10 to 3? And we wanted to see if we could sell some beer. So I went to the market manager down there and said, "You probably have to get some kind of permit. I'm sure there's some kind of permit." So we're looking into it. Apparently, beer is a pretty regulated industry. So there's a ton of permits you got to get with the TTB and the SLA and everything. We got everything together. It took about 6 months, and we were able to sell beer.
Now, as far as going out, now you sell bottles of beer, and I learned new terms today because I was reading about you bottle conditioned beer.
Yes.
And that basically ferments in the bottle?
Well, the beer's primary fermentation, in other words, when the yeast makes the alcohol, takes place in a regular big fermenter. Then what happens is, in order to carbonate it, you add a little bit of sugar as you bottle it, and the re-fermentation in the bottle creates the CO2.
Now, does that create a higher alcohol content?
Slightly, not
even that measurable.
Really.
But it gives the beer a certain profile that a forced carbonation won't.
Oh, so when they just inject it with CO2 and
different size bubbles, you get a different size bubble.
Well, you get the small, the more pure bubble, right?
Yeah, it's maybe a little more smooth.
And what was Boris talking about? He's like, oh yeah, and then you pour a little bit of the yeast in, and then you try a little of the yeast alone, and what is?
Well, that's because there's an entire primer on their website about how to pour a bottle conditioned.
Yeah, because if you don't know and you just dump that beer into a glass, all the sediment at the bottom
And you're
gonna
going to
go
look at it
inside
and you're
the
going to
beer.
say, what's wrong with this beer? This beer must have
it's
turned or
cloudy.
something.
There's
Right.
like a little bit of chunks in there, but if you
You say that brewery's
pour it
terrible.
right, yeah. So we just want people to know that
It's bottle
It's
condition.
bottle
Is
condition.
that like when you do like apple cider vinegar and they say it's with the mother? Like I always buy this the organic with the mother. Is that the
got the
same
mother
kind?
culture in there.
Right? Is that the same thing with the beer?
Pretty close, yeah, pretty much the same thing. That's the actual yeast sometimes used to make the beer.
And that's one of the most important parts of at least the medicinal parts of the apple cider vinegar is making sure that it has the mother. So
high in vitamin B12.
that's awesome. That's so cool that it
Look
makes
at
me
this
feel
guy.
like
This guy's,
it's.
he
I
can
know.
go back and forth from beer to vinegar.
They know what's going
yeast
on
is high,
because it's
is
not.
high in vitamin B12. They say, yeah.
That's awesome. So you were telling me because I kept talking about that pineapple flavor I'm getting from the Red Sea.
Yeah.
The Red Sea, by the way, the beer of the week at Halftime Beverages, and you said, well, there's not any pineapple in there. That's the hops.
Exactly. That's the you can play with the hops and get different flavors from them. And one of the flavors that people get from the Red Sea is pineapple, mango, grapefruity, and that's just a combination of using different hops to create that interpretation of fruitiness.
It's dangerously delicious.
Oh yeah, it's good.
Robert Taylor says, dangerously delicious.
Dangerously delicious. Yeah, delish.
And
Well,
it's interesting because, again, we're talking about how this area is so big on the craft beers and stuff like that. It's also becoming a place where a lot of hops are grown.
Oh, yeah.
Now, do you guys use local product to?
Right now, there's not many local hops to use. Within 12 months, there's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
There's
So we're absolutely going to use a lot of, and there's a local malt guy too. I think starting.
yeah,
up,
we're going to try and use as much local products as we can. Unfortunately, that infrastructure is
available to
not
you up to, yeah.
exactly. So, but hop season, the harvest takes place around late August, early September. So,
Which is probably why Oktoberfest was such a.
there you go, man.
Yeah.
See how it's all connected? And it's a lot of places do a fresh hop beer where they pluck it right off the vine the day of brewing and put it right into the beer. So it's
Is there a
as
difference
fresh.
when they do some of that?
It's a little more grassiness to the hop. It also tastes very fresh. You know?
Usually the hops are dried and then used.
Right.
Are you going to make some of that?
Oh, certainly.
Yeah, definitely.
Certainly.
Maybe you'll drop some by. We'd
Hey.
love to taste it. Like that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Listen to Robin. Robin's like, I was never really a beer drinker.
becoming a beer
before
drinker.
I ran into you guys. But now, what other beers do you make? You were talking about the peach beer.
The
Yep.
sour peach has been pretty popular.
Now, is that actually with peach? in
Yes,
it?
yeah. There's peach puree added to the fermenter, and that ferments out, and then it's bottled.
My
from there.
wife would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's,
we literally don't have any right now. We were gonna bring some in, but
That's amazing when you think, oh, wow, look at that. We've got such a hit. Now, has anybody approached you guys about licensing your beer for larger scale distribution or anything like that?
well, the distributors, they've been talking to us, but it doesn't at our size. It doesn't make sense for us to go with a distributor because they're gonna want a percentage. And we don't have a lot of beer
to drive the kegs to the guys.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we got a van. We could drive it to the store ourselves. So.
We
Now-
got a van.
Yeah.
I love
Now-
it.
We
We
got
got
a
a
Do you
van.
have plans? Do you have plans to expand?
Well, we just expanded, so we went from a 20-barrel system, or I'm sorry, a 20-gallon system to the 3-barrel system. That in our property that maxes out the space. We can't expand anymore, so we're going to ride that for a while and see where that takes us, and hopefully expand in the future.
I'll tell you, I love people who live their life by do what you love, and you'll never work again. And just to talk to you guys about this, you can see the passion. Everybody I know, and I know a remarkable number of people who make their living as brewers doing this sort of thing. And every one of you guys, you just look like you won the job lottery. You got life by the short and curlies.
That's
that's
Yeah.
that's an awesome,
plan.
It's
that's
a
an
blast.
awesome feeling.
Yeah, it's an absolute blast. Just making.
You were saying your dad works with you there.
Exactly. Well, actually, he's
working on the keg washer.
He's
right
working
now.
on the keg washer right now,
Yeah.
but he was a home brewer back in the 90s and still continues to homebrew today. But he was the New York State Homebrewer of the Year in '96.
Oh, wow.
And then kind of taught me to brew. And
He's a great brewer.
yeah.
And that kind of pales next to Employee of the Month for you,
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
it?
It is interesting too how many people are doing the homebrew stuff and things like that.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they can do it well. I mean, Deuce apparently made a great batch of beer and gave some to everybody except for me. The guy who basically guided him through and got him a gig.
Right.
But everybody else got one except for me.
It was
But I
delicious.
heard it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Which
You
one
know?
was that? He said he did a porter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was telling us about that.
I'm sure he was.
Well, that's the
He's
thing.
young. You can get him to start talking.
Actually, we were drinking in the back over there. You didn't get any?
There are two people.
I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
really. Hey guys, I get some of this. Try it. Don't let Coop know. No, it's just funny because we got two guys in this place. You start a beer conversation, and Deuce and Boris come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in opposite ends of the building. Somebody talking
Yeah,
specific
they
gravity.
swarmed us when we came in with a cooler. Yeah.
Yep. Bringing people together.
That's an awesome gig, guys. Hey, thanks a lot for your time today. Really appreciate
Thanks
it.
a lot.
Yeah.
We appreciate
It
it.
is
Thank you.
the beer of the week over at Halftime Beverage. And if anybody's can people do you retail at all?
At the farmers market right now, we're gonna do. We're doing Beacon now, and then Arlington Farmers Market is gonna start up at Vassar College.
Oh, that's Thursday
that's right
afternoon,
around the
right?
corner for me.
I
Yep.
love
Yeah, stop by.
that.
Yeah.
And when are you going to be there? We're starting
That's
when?
it starts in about a month. That's every Thursday. When
From
does it
like
start?
3 to 7.
Yeah.
My wife always goes to that. I'll tell her to make
Yeah.
sure she picks
Me
them up.
too.
Definitely.
Well, we'll see you at the farmers market.
Great.
Yeah, sounds good.
Great.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot,
Appreciate it.
guys.
Thank
All right,
you.
check it out. And sloopbrewing.com?
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right. Check it out. I'll tell you, man, the beers are fantastic.
I'll say I'm
and
a
they're
big
available
fan of the
different
Red
places
Sea.
locally.
Yeah, go to the website.
You can go to the website.
Yeah.
You can see where you can get it. But and support the local brewers.
Love these
You
guys.
know, I mean, we've got a bunch of them. Every one of them is very cool. Mm-hmm. You know,
It's a good community.
You
There's
do have
a lot
you have a
of-
great
lot of good
community,
people. There really
and you
is.
know, it's like you sit there and you talk to different people, and everybody's so supportive of each other.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Like when
Everybody's-
we got our kegs in and our keg washer wasn't up and running, we went down. Newburgh Brewery let us use their keg washer just to wash them all. So thanks, guys. It's awesome.
You know, it's awesome. And,
Right.
you know, you sit there, and I was talking to Tommy Keegan a while back, and I said, does it bother you, because he was so forefront on the thing. I'm like, does it bug you that everybody's out there doing
Tommy's
this
the
now?
man. Actually, our keg washer that we're fixing up right now originally came from him.
And his philosophy was, hey, listen, the more people that know that we become known for this, the more of a market there's going to be for the beers from the Valley.
Right.
You know, so you become known as a hot spot.
Yeah.
And again, we've got some really great places around here.
Right.
So
Yeah.
best of luck, guys. Thanks
Thank
again.
you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Good luck,
Appreciate it.
guys.
All right, Sloop Brewing.